I'm Megan Story, and this is Module 5, Understanding My Community, and my community is Spring Hill USD 230. So a little bit about Spring Hill, its custom and traditions. It's a bedroom community of the Kansas City metropolitan area. It's composed of the towns of Spring Hill, Olathe, and Overland Park. And so it's made up of two counties. Our southern county is going to be Miami County, and our northern county is going to be Johnson County. We have had tremendous growth in the Spring Hill School District, even the past 5 years since I've been here, where we are building our current third middle school. So we built two middle schools within approximately 4-ish years, and the same thing with grade schools. So we are really continuously growing as a population just because a lot of people are moving, I think, south from the bigger cities, especially out of Johnson County. We have some things that are we focus on in Spring Hill. So like our State of the District breakfast focuses on a lot of our community leaders. We have our Spring Hill Education Committee, which is a big golf tournament, but then there's also a lot of things that provide grants for teachers. And you'll hear me talk about quite a bit of this stuff as we go on. We have our Leadership Spring Hill, which is what administrators will take to understand about Spring Hill and the community. And then the biggest part of Spring Hill is they have a fall festival where basically they shut down like the main street and they have a big parade. This is the sign that you'll see as you enter Spring Hill. So population characteristics when we talk about our demographics. Here's basically a screenshot that I found from the city's website. So we have a population in just Spring Hill. This is not Olathe. This is not Overland Park. This is true Spring Hill, the small community, about 7,300 people. The median age in our area is around the lower 30s, mid to lower 30s. And then our ethnicity is 96% white or Caucasian. We have a small percentage of Hispanic, but there's not very much. Most of my students are going to be Caucasian. Housing in our area, and it just depends because, like I said, Spring Hill is on the border of Miami and Johnson County. So the median household is $172,000. That's going to be in Spring Hill, mainly focused around the Miami County numbers. Miami County is going to have around the $190,000 mark, where your Johnson County is more of a $220,000 mark. We have a pretty high owner versus renter population. Usually our renters are more transit population. And so then our education, most of my parents have a bachelor's degree, if not a master's degree. It's pretty rare that they don't have any formal education. And then last but not least, our median household income is around $72,000, with the mean being at $86,000. And I've taught in quite a few different districts, and so this is by far the highest socioeconomic status district that I have been a part of. So when we talk about communication, I think our district does very well. We have a whole communications department and director. So we have a district, our district and school websites, they are phenomenal. Like all the information I found is literally on the school websites. We have a mobile app that a lot of parents use as well. That's going to have notifications and alarms or alerts. We use email, social media, your video, as well as your snail mail. And then we use Skyward Updates. That's the learning management platform that we use. And so I showed here just some different types of information, how we get the word out. A lot of times it's social media. That's the biggest one that's the most current, especially after COVID. Community groups. So we have a lot of different community groups within because of the 3 cities, and the 2 cities that border us, Overland Park and Olathe, are massive cities. But I just focused on specifically Spring Hill because that's where my school is at. So we have a PTO. We have site councils for all of our buildings. And so we have quite a few buildings, and I'll show you here in those in just a second. As I talked about the Spring Hill Education Foundation earlier, that is a large portion of how we as teachers get grants within our district. It's a lot of money that's raised by the community for us. And so we apply for different things. And so like our library needed some different things during COVID. And so she applied and got a $1,000 grant. And so really, if you need something, they truly try to make it happen. Then we have our PLCs, so our professional learning communities, that we do on Wednesday mornings for about 80 minutes. Along with that is the Y Club. So while students are they can come to the building, eat breakfast, that sort of thing. And the Y Club has activities and things for them to do while we are in those professional learning communities to be interacting with our peers, because that's the only time that we're allotted as teachers. We have building leadership teams in each building, and I've been a part of that for 3 years now. And then we also have athletics, like your football, basketball, baseball. You'll see here in the middle lit up is our complex at the high school for sports, for soccer, football, baseball, softball, that sort of thing. And then we have all of our activities. So things like band, cheerleading, student council, theater, all of those things. As far as our community goes, we have various churches. Boys and Girl Scouts are a big part of our community. American Legion, the Lions Club, and then Spring Hill Recreation Commission is a big part of our community also. So that's where all of our rec sports are done through, and a lot of parents use that avenue in Spring Hill. So when we focus on leadership, a lot of our leadership within our community is our school board members. Our school board members are intertwined in everything. They are leaders within our community, within our schools. As I was researching this, I saw their names on everything, which was quite surprising to me. And so most of our school board members are our Spring Hill Chamber of Commerce members too, that they run those. The Lions Club. Our city council is a lot of those people also on our school board. Our mayor, he's a phenomenal person. He is one of our local attorneys, but he's also the mayor of Spring Hill and has kiddos in the school district. He's adopted those kiddos, and so he is a phenomenal person. Like I was talking about the Spring Hill Rec Commission earlier, and then Leadership Spring Hill. So Leadership Spring Hill is going to be what our Chamber of Commerce puts on for leaders within the community. So a lot of our administrators take this course so that they can learn about their community, their stakeholders, kind of all the things that are intertwined in all things Spring Hill. And we have a hashtag in our district called #WhySpringHill. And so as you'll see down here, this is one of the pictures that shows all of our bordering school districts, which are great school districts. I currently live in the Palos School District, but I did live in the Lewisburg School District prior. And so you will see this, and so a lot of people talk about why Spring Hill, and so a lot of people have branched to our community to get out of some of the bigger school districts, but we have one of the biggest school district areas, boundaries-wise. Economic conditions. So we didn't have a lot of hardships, it seems, during COVID and things. We actually had continuous growth because we are a bedroom town, and so actually during the pandemic, you saw a lot more people moving in to our area. They also were building a lot more homes, that sort of thing. We've had numerous successful businesses that have not had any hardship, it seems. And so we have a glass plant. We have a Clorox plant where they make like kitty litter, bleach, all that sort of stuff for distribution. We have a company called Seats where they truly build seats for lawnmowers and trucks and all sorts of things. And then we have a distillery, which is more of a wedding venue, bar sort of area, but it's a big business for Spring Hill. And so these were major employers that I pulled off the Spring Hill the Spring Hill City website. As you can see what we manufacture, and Spring Hill School Districts is going to have the most employees in the area. So I kind of started combining some things to talk about because our district, either I don't know of them or there just doesn't seem to be a lot of these. So like I was talking about earlier, our political structure, we have a mayor named Steve Ellis. We have our city council members, our county commissioners, and then our notice of Chamber of Commerce, which, like I was saying, they're all the same. They're all intertwined. You will see the same names all over. So, for example, if they're on city council, they may be head of our bank. If they're on the Chamber of Commerce, they may be part of our bank. They may be a school board member, that sort of thing. You will see them with multiple titles, doing multiple things, running multiple churches, etc. It's quite impressive, honestly, the hats that some of these people wear. When we talk about social tensions, there's a couple social tensions that I can think of that cause some rift within our community. There's a social media mom group that is a problem. And I will not out the mom group, but the problem is that a lot of moms get on there and bicker and say some pretty awful things about the school district or teachers, etc. One of the biggest problems that we had in this is for example, I'm head of 8th grade team, and I had an 8th grade young teacher call me and say, a student just brought me alcohol into the building, carried it into the building, I don't know what to do. I'm like, well, it's got to go to the office now because that's an MIP for that kiddo whose parent let them carry it to the building. Even though there was no malice behind it, there's just this formal chain of commands. And then it went on to the social media group saying they should never buy teacher gifts anymore. Teachers don't appreciate it. It became quite the conundrum. And then last but not least, we have another social tension. We have I'm going to say one specific school board member that tends to ruffle a lot of feathers within the community based on social media. And so that becomes an even bigger issue. A lot of our veteran teachers, and when I say veterans, a lot of them that were close to retirement or had taught 20 plus years in the district left this year. My building is going to have a 10-person swing again. And the year before that, we had a 13-person swing. So it's just continuing to happen. And I think a lot of it is the couple members on the school board who really have caused some tension. Earlier, I talked about our schools. This is our schools currently. So at the top, you will see that we have 5 elementary schools currently, or sorry, 6 elementary schools currently, 2 middle schools, and 1 large high school. We're trying to decide if they're going to build onto the high school even more. We just built 20 rooms onto it. If we're going to build onto it or make a separate high school, because we are bringing a 3rd middle school online as we speak. So as we continue to talk about that, what previous community efforts? So we have passed bonds in 2016 and turned around and passed another bond in 2018. Because as you will see here, we have added a large list to our parks because people need entertainment and interaction. But as you look here, this was the projected growth when the bond came out in 2018. This is not current, but it is trending the same. So we hired a mega company to come in and predict trends for us, and this is the trend that they predicted. So today, this was housed in 17-18. There was 3,000 students, and then they're projecting a major increase, almost a 50% increase, which they are pretty much at already because my building's at capacity again. And so then you will see where it leads to our feeder system up here, where it says to be determined. We are trying to bring on, so we just put on a 6th elementary school. We'll have a 7th one coming on with our 3rd middle school. All right, so then power structure, like I was talking about, I don't feel like there's just one person that makes connections here because even like our superintendent is on the Chamber of Commerce. So like everybody is intertwined somehow within my district. Multicultural issues. So this is something that we don't have a ton of. And we will as we continue to grow, but we don't have a lot of diversity. Like I said, we're 96% white, and most are English speaking, if not all. And so we only have 2 ELL teachers for all of our buildings. So you're talking about 9 buildings having 2 ELL teachers. That's it. Like we just don't have a massive diversity yet. But I anticipate as we grow, this will be a need that we have. Then we have our public, I'm going to move this down just a second. Then we have our public opinion. So outside public, they, what I hear in talking in the community and other districts around is that people think Spring Hill is fabulous. But now, as you know, as an educator, every district has its own problems and issues, and a lot of districts, it's all the same melting pot in a way. But a lot of teachers see the struggle and the things that need fixed. Our population growth is one of the main reasons. We had massive population growth in a very short time and didn't know how to handle it. And so, for example, when we split middle schools for our new middle school to the middle school that I'm in, I am one of like 2 veteran teachers that stayed in our current middle school. They shipped all the veterans to the brand new middle school, which was only going to have about 10 to 15 students for like the first couple of years, where we brought on 13 new teachers, first-year teachers with first-year administration, and it was didn't go well, to say the least. And now you have a 10-person swing again with new administration. And so we have a lot of young families that are moving in. As I told you, the average median is only like 31. So we have a lot of new families moving into the community. I was actually at a 4th of July party where a woman came up to me and was like, "Oh, I just moved into your school district. How exciting." That sort of thing. So they're very excited from the outside. I think there's some stuff internally that needs resolved, but I think over time that will help. My references, I looked up everything from Spring Hill School, the Spring Hill, Kansas official website. Our Spring Hill School District website is phenomenal for all resources. And then last but not least was Williams, and he provided like the chart that I used for the communications with that, thank you.